I'm
now.
just oiling at the moment,
How good
and I
it'd be.
want enough oil that I can do it. Then I'm going to use my forearms. So all the same that we've already done. Teddy, can you go under that table at the front is a bag of mine, and it's got a white towel in it, a little white towel.
Oh, there's a small towel there.
Is it here?
There should be.
Ah, don't worry, we've got one.
Here's one.
I've got one. Don't worry. Put it back. Thank you.
What kids touch the
Okay, so sorry, I need to show you what I'm actually doing. So you need to get your centre of gravity really low, and it's exactly what you've been doing before. And this is a bit like using your hands. If I'm using my hands, I'm behind it, and I'm leaning into it. If I'm using my forearm, we know it's the soft part. Yes? We know that I just lean into it. That's all I'm going to do. My other hand is doing what? Hanging out. The other hand is a supporting hand. Okay, so let me show you that in detail. Make sure you can see me. Can you see me? All I'm going to do is get behind it like we did with the roller and allow that to glide. Where's the movement coming from?
body.
Can you see it's coming from my body, Teddy?
Does that feel quite deep?
Is that effortless? Could I use my hand in another way? It is deep, by the way. You alright? Just too much, or you alright?
Just,
On
yeah.
the edge.
Yeah, the top, especially when you come up almost
I
to
know.
the top.
I can feel. How else could I use my hand? Reinforced, right. So what I could do is use my arm just like a little lever. Now, I have to go very, very slowly here because I already know that it's a bit deep for her. Okay? So I'm going to go very carefully. You all right with that?
Yep.
How else could I use my forearms? I could use my forearms on the lower legs. Nice? Equally, how else could I use my forearms? Don't know yet. Could I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I was doing this yesterday and I was thinking, do I ever do that? No. Why? Tell me why.
It's a bit awkward.
Do you know what? It is awkward. So I thought, I never do that. I never do anything that's awkward. I'm far too lazy. So what do? Actually, I do that. So now, does my body look more comfortable? So here's how you use your forearms. I can use both. See how you use both together, kind of tying them in together.
So what were you doing before you were almost behind the leg when you weren't comfortable? You just come to the
Yeah,
side a bit
I
more?
wasn't comfortable because it feels like I'm twisting too much and having to crouch down too much
So
here.
then you come to the side a bit more.
So, you know what I say to you? If it doesn't feel right, it's not, okay? So what else can you do? If that doesn't feel right, I need to be more upright, but I can still use my forearm. Can somebody go? Those ones. So there you go. I can use my forearm there. But we do need to get into that iliotibial band. How else can I do that a bit more? I could move the area a bit. You okay? The other ways of using your forearm is to come up and round, to bring it up and round. And we've also done that work where we're stretching, okay? I'm having to get low and I might possibly feel better actually coming down onto my One knee up, one down. You all right with that?
Can you get much pressure in that?
It's deep.
It's enough.
Is it?
It's
Yeah.
deep.
It's deep.
It's deep, man. It's deep.
How else can I get pressure into the iliotibial band? What do you already know? Knuckles. Yeah. So what I can do is using my knuckle, do you remember this? You hook it into your hip.
Sorry, that was like quite a lot.
Sorry. Yes, it is quite a lot. I actually feel like I have a lot more control with that. Does that feel better, Dhruti?
Yeah, it does, definitely.
And even if I decide to work very specifically,
That feels deep. That feels deep. That feels good as well. I can take that.
it's deep,
Yeah, it
Slow as well.
but
Are
it's
you
slow.
leaning at the moment?
Right?
Really
Are you
slow.
leaning forward?
I'm just,
Yeah,
yeah,
so I'm not
literally, I'd be the other way around with mine. Yes. I was leaning into it. Okay, do you see how deep you can get? I'm thinking that's probably enough on the legs for now. You would do the same with the back, but I want to make sure you get enough time. I want to show you a few principles with the, yeah, go on.
So this one's on the leg. Will he be able to go on the front?
Yes. You can do all of that everywhere. So if I was doing that up on the back, I'd be around on the back. The same stuff as you've already done, but this time with oil. Okay? But how am I going to use the elbow? So I kind of know I'm wanting to go around about here and into that area there. I know I want to go there. I just know. So when we work with the elbow, so far you've done some nice flat forearm, yes? Have you noticed where your elbow is when you do that? No, you haven't, have you? So you could notice where your elbow is when you do that and actually find that bony landmark that he was talking about. How you doing, Dhruti?
I can take it, but
It's enough, right?
yeah.
Okay, that's enough pressure for her. And that's a flat elbow just into that attachment.
So around the crest is where the elbow is.
So around, you feel it when you work with somebody. Can you see how I'm going across that tension there? And so all I'm doing is feeling in the same way that I would feel with my fingertips. That's all I'm doing. I'm just feeling like I would with my fingertips, palpating gently. Notice how gentle and slow it is. I'm feeling when I feel something, and if she wants more pressure, so let's check. How you doing? I'm going to, if I'm using my elbow, I'm going to come up very, very slowly with my hand underneath, and I can then add a bit more. How are you doing? Good? Feel good? Good. What were the steps there? What were the steps? No, it was not straight up like this.
Noticed where your elbow was.
Okay, so I had a flat arm,
Yeah.
and I'm now using my elbow to feel, okay? To feel what's there. And I can feel that's tight in there. It's easy to feel that, actually. Okay? Then what did I do?
And you asked her exactly.
I said, is that enough pressure? Because actually that might well be enough pressure with a flat elbow. And she said she could take a bit more. So I'm going to come up really slowly. Am I adding any pressure at this point? No.
Just more points.
I'm just adding more point. Right, good. Then I'm going to check out, how's that? And then she says I can use more pressure, so I'm going to lean in a little bit at a time. You're not even going to notice that, because I'm using like a tiny bit at a time.
Would you use breathing at that point?
I would. Indeed I would. How am I going to come out of that? As slowly as I went in. Where can I use my elbow? Just about anywhere, yeah.
Fleshy.
Not fence.
just about anywhere if I'm careful. So here's another area I might use my elbow onto that iliac crest area, when we were talking about down here. But in the same way, I might use it through that way. How's that feel? And that's probably about all I would need to do.
So what,
Yeah, did you see that breath? Did you see her take an extra breath there? Kind of deep breath.
which way are you pushing though? You're pushing
Down into the attachment. So now I'm kind of on top of the iliac crest and working down into it to get the attachments of the muscle. Where else might I use it? Either side of the spine? Not as quick as that? Not as
Like an eater.
I haven't started yet, I just didn't, I moved a bit awkwardly there. Okay, so spine's a gap. You alright?
Yeah, that's
Enough? Bit more?
yeah, there you can go a bit more. Wherever you want.
Yeah, I wasn't in the right place. Okay?
Yeah, enough.
Okay. See how slowly and checking in all the time? So that would be like using your reinforced thumb, checking in. So do you need to get your sensitivity with this before you start using it in different areas? Good, 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 good. And I would liken this to like a platform shoe and a stiletto. Okay? So the platform, good. Platform spreads the load. As soon as you go up into the elbow, then, and if you start using, why don't you try with the palm of your hand? So platform is that nice flat, but you can still feel the bone, can't you?
Yeah.
Is it on? Oh yeah. And then come up into a point. And then if you wiggle your hand around, you can kind of. Okay? It's good. There's nothing wrong with it. You just have to be a little bit sensitive to how you use it. Okay? So get into pairs, have a little go, particularly with that oiling and the forearm use, okay? Along the iliotibial area. Good.